If you read much about Warframe, or have been playing a while, you've probably heard of stat sticks. This refers to a melee weapon build that is designed not for the melee weapon, but instead to enhance a Warframe ability. Ashe, Atlas, Excalibur, Gara and Khora are all affected by stat sticks, and I'm going to show you how you can build the perfect stat stick for each one. I'm the Engineer, let's solve a practical problem. The 5 affected abilities don't all follow the same rules, so you will want different sticks for different frames. There are, however, a few things universal to all of them. All 5 abilities benefit from the Steel Charge aura. It's more effective on Ashe than on the others, for reasons I'll cover shortly, but suffice to say, unless you really need another aura, this one will improve all of the ability's damage. Each ability also gains bonus damage from your combo multiplier. It's 25% at base per combo above 1, that means that the normal max of 12 times multiplier will give you a 275% bonus to your damage, or 300% if you get a 13 times combo with Venka Prime. You should use the Naramon focus score with Power Spike to prevent the combo counter from expiring entirely during lulls in combat, instead letting it just drop down a little bit over time. The mods Berserker, Condition Overload, Shattering Impact and Healing Return, as well as faction damage amplifiers like Smite Grenier, all do not work for stat sticks, so don't use these ones at all. On the other hand, the Gladiator mods do enhance the crits, not only of these stat stick abilities, but also of exalted weapons, except for Garuda's Talons. Why that one's an exception, I'll be honest, I don't know, but it is an exception. And lastly, whichever ability you're using, do not use the Zorit. It has an infinite combo counter, sure, except it resets immediately upon using any stat stick ability. So again, do not use the Zorit. So first of all, the stat sticks to make is for Ashe and his Bladestorm ability. I don't hear a lot about this ability, which is honestly kind of odd given the strength of it. It's a pure damage ability, no type modifiers or armor to worry about, that inflicts a fair amount of damage quickly to a bunch of enemies, with a punishing damage over time effect on top. So for Bladestorm then, the only mods that affect it, outside of normal ability mods, are Steel Charge, attack speed mods, except Berserker of course, and combo chance mods. Steel Charge will immediately increase the damage of this ability by 60%, and if a whole squad is running Steel Charge, that's 240%. If that same squad runs Coaction Drift on each of them as well, this rises to a grand total of 317%, meaning that Bladestorm will deal more than 4 times the usual damage. Definitely some good synergy option there. As for the stat stick itself then, attack speed and combo mods. For attack speed, you can use Fury, Gladiator Vice and Quickening. These 3 together will give you a total of a 100% attack speed increase, not just for your melee weapon, but also of course for the animation speed of Bladestorm itself, meaning the shadow clones are going to attack that much faster and finish the ability that much quicker. In addition to this then, both Quickening and True Punishment increase the amount of combo that you gain from each of the hits, both by your melee and by the shadow clones. Now while True Punishment does reduce the combo duration by 50%, that's 50% of the base duration of the weapon, which is 2.5 seconds for basically everything. Using Gladiator Rush and Drifting Contact, you can bring that back up again to get yourself to a total of 18.5 seconds, which is plenty of time to work with. The final 2 mod slots then, you can use those pretty much however. If you have a Riven for your stat stick, this is where you'd want to put that. Otherwise you can put say Pressure Point and Fever Strike, or some other combination just to fill out the last 2 slots there. Don't forget, you can also get the Augment for Bladestorm, which increases the combo count gained from the attack, and also increases the combo window yet further, to carry this ability very well forwards. You can even use that as an opportunity to take one of the combo window mods off of your stat stick, to allow yourself to put in an extra damage mod when using the melee normally. Do note that while the stat stick is making it where the animation is faster, and that the combo window is open for longer, it doesn't actually improve the damage of this ability, so if you didn't want to focus a stat stick for Ashe, it's not the end of the world. Next then, we've got Atlas and his Landslide ability. Atlas benefits from loads more mods than Ashe. Those are pure damage mods like Pressure Point, Impact and Elemental mods, Critical and Status mods, Combo Chance mods, Acolyte mods, gladiator mods, and weapon augments. There's no slash or puncture in Atlas's Landslide, so do not equip those ones though. Now, while the status and crit mods do apply to Atlas, the crit and status chance on Landslide is both 5%, making it absolutely terrible to spend mods on those features. What you want to do then is damage, using elemental and impact damage, as well as combo. Do note that the attack speed mods do not help Atlas, or anyone else other than Ashe for that matter, so skip out those mods. With all that considered, rummaging through the mods I own, this is the stat stick I've thrown together, and I'm skipping prime mods at first, to show you the basic ones you can put together. Because Landslide is pure impactor base, using impact mods is, for once, actually not a bad idea. This kind of a stat stick is best put onto a weapon which itself is mostly impact to ensure your stat stick itself is as good as it can be when you're building up your combo, ready to use the stat stick to its fullest potential. You will need a couple of polarized slots to be able to fit everything on for this particular stat stick. Now if you use just any old weapon, so you've got no weapon augments or Rivens, skipping out prime mods for a moment, you can attain a 21.7 times damage multiplier on Landslide, though one or two former will be needed. If you like, you can swap out either an elemental mod or Saxon Thorax for drifting contact to triple your combo window. This will make it again easier to keep it going between lulls in combat, and is also less former heavy. Now if you want to cap this out, you can upgrade to Prime Pressure Point, Prime Fever Strike, and Primed Heavy Trauma. Such a move on the 21.7 times multiplier build will increase your damage to just a hair off 30 times damage. And if you're using Skana or Dual Cleavers with their weapon augment instead of an elemental mod, this will raise yet further to nearly 33.5 times damage bonus from the stat stick. That is on top of any combo bonus. Or again, you can swap out Saxon Thorax for drifting contact, dropping you down to 29.3 times damage with a 15-second combo window, again on the Skana and Dual Cleavers. It comes down to how quickly you think you can move to the next attack, and if you're using Naramon to keep your combo up. You could consider using a combo chance mod, but unless it's a bonus on a Riven, you'd be dropping a heavy chunk of damage for a combo build speed which you quite probably won't need if you're already going this hard on a stat stick. Now while I have skipped over the crits entirely, Landslide does have an innate 2 times multiplier, so flat critical enhancements can actually help you out, such as Smeeter Charm giving you fixed orange crits, or Harrow's Covenant giving you a flat crit chance buff. Given both of these buffs are not things you can actually rely on though, don't build for it, just make sure you use it when it happens. Moving on then to Excalibur and Gara. I'm combining these two together as they're very nearly the same in terms of their requirements. Excalibur has Slash Dash, which, believe it or not, uses your melee as a stat stick, not your exalted blade, while Gara has her Shattered Lash. Both of these abilities have no crit and no status, meaning no amount of modding will improve things in those areas to any helpful degree. Instead, you'll be modding your stat stick not unlike Atlas, focusing on pure damage and elemental mods. For Gara, you can decide to focus on just the quick attack, or focus on just the held attack, and then you're modding either puncture or slash respectively, just like with Atlas and Impact. If you want to use both the quick attack and the held attack though, stick to just elemental mods rather than physical. For Excalibur, his damage is split across impact, puncture and slash, with 70% in slash. That means 120% slash mod is still less useful than 90% elemental mod. Rending Strike, the 60% slash and 80% puncture, may look promising at first with its 140% total, but it's actually useless here, so just don't do it. You should have plenty of other options to go through first before looking at any physical mods. So this is the go-to build I've put together for both Excalibur and for Gara. Now these two abilities do act somewhat differently in practice. Gara's ability does not add to the combo counter, nor does it keep the combo counter up, meaning you'll need to intersperse your attacks with normal melee strikes to build up and keep your combo. Slash Dash on the other hand will contribute to the combo as usual, adding on its hits and maintaining the multiplier. Therefore with Gara stat sticks you just want to put on combo duration, while with Excalibur you can also benefit from combo chance like True Punishment. Also, Excalibur's Slash Dash will emit waves of damage while his Exalted Blade is active. These waves benefit from your stat stick, though they don't add to the combo, while also benefiting from the Exalted Blade mods, allowing you to double dip. Stacking crit and status mods onto the Exalted Blade will improve the slash dash energy waves, but they still have no effect on the main hits from slash dash. Still though, in terms of a stat stick build, the only real difference between these two is if you want to put on Gladiator Rush or True Punishment, or a Riven mod if you have that going around. Lastly, in terms of the frames themselves, we have Khora, and boy does she pack a punch. Khora, with her Whipclaw, utilises all the same mods as Atlas. However, Whipclaw actually has a usable crit and status chance, and her damage is split evenly across impact, puncture and slash, so physical mods are right out. I'm going to come at this from a damage perspective as, truth be told, if you're building Whipclaw for status, you're wasting your time. Not only are there much better status options in the game, the damage status procs do from Whipclaw is actually heavily nerfed and can basically be discarded here. The net result on this, with the mod space you've got, is to go with a combo critical blood rush build. The combination of pure damage from Pressure Point and Spoiled Strike, crit chance from Blood Rush and Gladiator mods, crit damage from Organ Shatter, and then a couple elementals to top it off really drives home the damage. This build deals around 5 times more damage on average at 12 times combo than if we simply use the same stat stick we used for Gara. What's more, that's only considering the stat stick itself. You can utilise the Gladiator mods on your Warframe to bring this yet higher, around about 30% higher if you use all 3 Warframe Gladiator mods. Maxed out with all of this, but not including Steel Charge, the average damage per hit of Whipclaw will be over 500 times higher than without a stat stick and Gladiator mods. This is far higher than you can achieve with Atlas, Excalibur or Gara. Any other crit chance bonuses or damage bonuses being thrown around by allies, such as Empowered Quiver from Ivara, will only send this higher. Now do be aware, if you're using a Smeeta Vat, it will frequently nerf your crit chance down to 200% with Charm, which will come up somewhat often if you're running Khora for a Strangle Dome for looting. Now adding on to all of this are Riven mods. If you're able to get a Riven for a melee with a high disposition, the stats on a strong roll on the Riven can supercharge your ability. For Ashe, a Riven with a combo duration, combo count chance and attack speed is ideal. Nothing else matters to Ashe, and that includes finisher damage buffs, as his shadow clones don't benefit from that on your melee whatsoever. For Gara, Excalibur and Atlas, pure damage, combo duration and combo chance are the best. Elemental damage is nice, but we're already stacking so much of that, a Riven's bonus is likely not adding a lot. And then for Khora, the ideal stats would be pure damage, critical stats, and combo duration, or elemental damage. You can replace the mod on the weapon which matches to the stat buff you've got from your Riven, so for example swapping out Spoiled Strike for a pure damage Riven. And if you get multiple good stats, and you should if you're trying to get a good Riven, play around to see which combination works best for you. Attack speed is an acceptable negative for everyone except for Ashe, although do bear in mind this will also impact your ability to just gain the combo and deal damage with your normal melee. Far more acceptable would be negatives like combo efficiency, as you're not using heavy attacks, you're wanting to keep your combo up. Then things like finisher damage, faction damage, especially against the infested, or critical chance on slide, as well as a physical negative if it doesn't affect your chosen frame. Obviously if you've got minus impact on your Atlas stat stick, you're probably doing it wrong. Finally then, there's the weapon augments, that's specifically for the Skarner and dual cleavers. Excalibur, Atlas, Khora and Gara can all benefit from these weapon augments, though Ashe cannot. These two weapons then have a specific mod which is plus 100% damage, and that's additive to things like Pressure Point. For Excalibur, Atlas and Gara, this can easily replace an elemental mod with great effect. However for Khora, it's only really useful to replace Spoiled Strike, to gain back some attack speed and a syndicate effect on the melee itself. Given the limited impact on Khora, you can safely skip restricting yourself to these two weapons for her, as other weapons will probably have a better Riven disposition that you can use instead. For the others though, if you want that last little bit of optimization, go ahead and pick up the weapon and augment to go with it. Just be aware the weapons themselves aren't the strongest. Okay folks, that is everything you need to know when it comes to stat sticks for Ashe, Atlas, Gara, Excalibur and for Khora. I'd like to take this moment to remind you that I am also streaming over on Twitch, that is on Wednesday and Sunday evenings in the UK time zone, so go ahead and drop a follow to get a notification as soon as I go live. The link for that is in the description down below. And of course, if you've enjoyed the video or found it helpful, please do give it a like. It really does benefit the channel, I appreciate it so much. For now though, build combo, strike hard, and fight well, Tenno. I can petrify things now, yay! I probably should have built for that. Oh my god! Did you just see this? Triple! I just got a triple right here. Oh my god.